Well, and the next topic really geared towards integration and operability challenges. It's what does it mean to you, and making everything work together. So have at it, Ajay, please. Oh, I'm sorry. Go
Yes.
ahead.
One of the things that a little bit about the previous question, I wanted to mention something, and I'll go to this. So, all of being in healthcare for so long, one of the things that we've talked about in healthcare for a long time, 10, 15, 20 years, was telehealth, right? And the challenge is that, patients didn't want to go to, they wanted to go see the doctor. They had that. And then the doctors, they didn't want to do it because they were set in their ways. And so along comes COVID, right? And then the world changed overnight. And so here we are. We don't want to go out. We're stuck at home, right? We don't want to go out. And the doctors are like, okay, we need to they realize they may not get paid if they don't have appointments. So they're now incentivized. So they will start reaching out and going, we need to make sure we have a solution quickly. And so telehealth was one thing that, changed overnight. I mean, telehealth went 10, 15 years into the future, for all of us in healthcare. So healthcare IT really, really, went to the future. One of the things that, again, a low code solution that we tried out, throughout the initial months of the pandemic. One of the things that we saw was we needed to make sure we're trying to save PPE, and physicians going into ICUs, they would have to then come out, they'd have to change, they have to put on new PPE, et cetera, and then have to go on. So one way to be able to do that, we started developing a low-code virtual rounding solution, and that was a big change, and we did that literally overnight, and that was something that really had a practical solution to something, and it was, I have never seen agile work the way it is in healthcare than it happened. I mean, everybody in the organization, whether it was mine or anybody else's, was working, long days and short nights, and because this, all said and done, people, sad to say, they were dying through telehealth, and their families got to, so there was a huge empathetic situation happening there, right? And families saw their family members breathe their last through telehealth. So low code, real solutions. The challenges that healthcare has in terms of integration, a lot of these point solutions, these smaller organizations, they feel that integration with the EMR is a huge lift for them. And so I remember one particular vendor said, well, it's on our roadmap. We can probably think about it over the next 2 years. And I'm thinking, that's an opportunity for a low code solution, and so that is something definitely that, we have seen in real life. One of the things that, challenges for us is a lot of times we'll have vendors that, their presentation doesn't match the reality that we sometimes see. I see some of you nodding your head. You've gone through that before, right? And so that's the challenge, because we're trying to, when we finally get the solution, maybe somebody in operations has worked on it, we realize there's more work for us than met the eye. And so, I mean, typically those challenges that you see every day, HL7 is used in medical coding for sending messages from point A to point B for all your your patient information. So anytime you log into your phone app, you see that, and you're interacting with your physician. That's a lot of that is done through the HL7 code. So I mean, those are the things that I think low code and no code can really make a difference, and move healthcare by leaps and bounds. Just like that just like the initial days of the pandemic, that taught us how to be agile and had everybody together.
Hey, guys, I just want to be upfront with you. I can see that we have technically 16 minutes to go, and we've got 6 questions to go, and I could talk about the same one for the next hour, but I know that we can't.
I want to hit that with Ryan.
But we can have other ones, but I think we'd just go through as many as we can here. So Ryan, can you add to what Ajay was talking about?
No, I mean, as I mentioned earlier, and I'll keep it really brief. Our role is basically to automate the inbound and outbound payments, and we operate in a wide array of different industries and platforms. So we have to basically meet that technology platform where they're at, and so whether it is no code all the way through fully embedded technology, and so what kind of going off what we talked about earlier, the pandemic has also opened up brand new industries that really never experienced like the whole payment digitization evolution, and they're experiencing right now. So it's really challenged our team of engineers to create these intuitive, lightweight integration toolkits to allow that full automation in a low to no code environment. And so platform and interoperability challenges, we're introduced with that each day, and I think it's exciting because it continues to force us to really lean in and and innovate our own platform.
Tom?
Well, just like most industries in agriculture, we really do work in silos. And what I think is important is that the no-code methodology allows people in different parts of the value chain and supply chain to share information, but to get the information they need to do their job. So, for example, a change in weather in the Midwest, the temperature goes up, animals don't eat as much. That's going to slow them down. It's going to affect the processing plant. So we have these challenges all the time in agriculture where the data are very variable. And one of the things that I really came to appreciate about the no-code, low-code methodology is that it's more about the data. In other words, people want the processes and the IT tools, the apps to do what they need to do, the processes to do their job, but the common denominator all comes back to the data. And what I found is that the tools that are now available for developing low-code, no-code really take advantage of the structures of databases, things like security. All these things are sort of built in and taken care of. The citizen developer doesn't need to worry about coding for user access, or this still resides in the IT role. The other thing that I've seen is that it really facilitates conversation in companies. In other words, we're creating a culture, an environment where people are sharing the information they need to do their jobs and getting the things they need faster. This changes the culture in companies where the old way of doing things is to go through a long process before you get the changes to the software that you need. So I don't think it's necessarily any different in agriculture, but I do think we have some unique challenges in our industry.
Edward?
Go ahead.
Yeah, hi. Just an add-on to previous ideas and comments. So we work with many different industries. So one of the expertise that we have is actually about compliance. So in addition to those industries that we talk about, we also seen different examples in automotive, defense, food and beverage, energy. These are heavily regulated industries when we think about it. And compliance is actually changing. So change is part of the business process that we've been talking about. And that is one of the advantages actually of the low code in terms of compliance as well. It is because compliance may change for food and beverage, it may change for pharmaceutical, it may change for automotive. And these change reflects on the business processes. And any business process, in simple terms, consists of forms and the flows, right? The form is where we put together the data, and flow is how to get the job done, the step that we need to take. We basically digitize and automate that process. So now, just like mentioned earlier, any quality manager or compliance manager right now just simply roll up their sleeves, and with the drag and drop environment, they can put together those forms. If the form already exists, they can actually reflect those changes based on the compliance requirements on the form, and then the flow as well. So that's another thing. So there is no IT support needed. There is no big software project needed. Just what needs to be done. Roll up your sleeves and then put your hands on the system and drag and drop, basically. No code needed. So that's that is actually a revolution if you think about it. And what low code actually provides is actually that freedom. Actually sets professionals free in terms of putting things together for business process digitization and automation. And it is also a great advantage for leaders of our times when we think about it. Because just briefly, I'll just mention, because of COVID, things change a lot. We talk about remote work, hybrid work, as well as the shortage in workforce. So now we need to focus on things that's really important for the company, and we need to automate as much as possible. This automation actually, literally, we can put these things on the low-code environment that we see in compliance. Managers do it, quality control associates do it. They are not engineers, basically. They are just putting their hands on the system, and they make it happen. As well as even junior level, entry-level employees who just join the workforce, they can do these things quickly and automated. So that's a great advantage in this day of age for any company.